Hey everyone, today we're going to be covering the Port St. Lucie single family homes housing market for August of 2024. We're going to be covering topics like the current interest rates, home prices, inventory, and more. So stick around to get all the details and help you stay up to date on our local market. I am Matt Celedonio, a local realtor here in my hometown of Port St. Lucie, where I strive to give you valuable insights and help you with your real estate needs. Now we're going to get right into this video, so let's dive in. Starting off with the interest rates. So interest rates has been a really big topic over the last couple of years, and now I think we're finally heading in the right direction. Interest rates in August dropped to as low as 6.35%, which is the lowest interest rates we have seen since May of 2023. This is huge for buyers and for sellers. Buyers have been waiting for years to start seeing it dip low enough to kind of jump back into the market. I think once you start getting into the 6s and 7s, it's a really big judgment call on whether or not the buyers are willing or wanting to pay these prices at that high of an interest rate. I know 2 years ago when the interest rate spiked, that scared off a large majority of buyers because they didn't know how that was going to react with the home prices and the housing market as a whole, which we're going to be covering later in this video, how it affected the prices. But for now, just the interest rates alone, that really pushed so many buyers away just because it was so fast, and it really does affect the monthly payment a lot. So people just kind of sat back and wanted to see how it's played out. And now it's been 2 years and we're finally starting to trend downward. And there are reports predicting that we can expect more rate cuts to happen in September. I've seen reports stating 1/4 of a point all the way up to 1/2 point, which would get us into the 5%. I've seen reports stating that so many buyers are waiting just to see interest rates drop into the 5s. And I've even personally spoken with plenty of buyers that are waiting for the 5s and are just kind of on the sidelines. So you can definitely expect droves of buyers to be coming the second that they see a 5% interest rate. So this is definitely something to keep an eye on in our market, but it is a good sign for buyers. And like I said earlier, it's a good sign for sellers too. Having more buyers in the market just helps sellers get your house seen by more people, which gives you a better opportunity to get a sale while also getting a better interest rate on your new home. Next up are the home prices of August 2024. The single family homes in August 2024, we saw an average sales price of about $451,000. And this is a 3.9% increase from what we saw a year ago in August 2023, which was $434,000. Seeing a 3.9% increase year over year is a really good place to be for appreciation and does show a stable market. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, there were a lot of buyers that were weary of seeing such spikes in prices during COVID and then immediately being hit with higher interest rates. People were kind of waiting, our price is going to fall or interest rate's going to fall, something has to give. And now we're 2 years removed from that, and now we can start seeing that our market has kind of stabilized and into a more normal place, being at that basically 4% appreciation, which is a really good place to be and does indicate a stable and, dare I say, normal market. And as I mentioned, the interest rates are on a downturn, so we might end up seeing a slight uptick in the average price, but it hasn't happened yet over the last few months. The $451,000 is the third highest month we've had this year, but when I took the average sales of the 8 months of Port St. Lucie this year and the 12 months of 2023, it was still a 3.9% increase. So we haven't seen any fluctuation due to the interest rates changing. But like I said, the second that the interest rates get into the 5s, I would expect a lot more buyers coming into the market. And that's when we could start seeing a slight uptick. But again, that's something we'll keep updated on in the future. One final thing I wanted to touch on with the interest rates, just because we have so much new construction in Port St. Lucie, I am very curious to see what's going to happen with the rate buy downs if rates continue to drop, because right now a lot of incentives that builders are running in these communities is they're offering rate buy downs into like the low 4s, high 3% interest rates. But if interest rates continue to decline, I'm curious to see if they change their incentives to lower interest rates on the buy down, more flex cash, closing costs, or lowering prices, or if these homes that are being built are going to just be selling faster at the lower interest rates. And I do think that this is just something to keep an eye on, especially if you're looking into these communities as the rates are dropping, to constantly keep updated on what the new incentives are going to be for these builders, which you can always ask me to find out for you as well if you're not wanting to go directly to the builder. The next topic I wanted to touch on is the days to contract. In August 2024, we saw it was taking 65 days to contract versus only 45 days to contract in August of 2023. So I know 20 days is a huge difference and a big increase, but if you look at the average of all of 2023, the days to contract was 50 days, And if you look at the average of the 8 months so far in 2024, we're looking at 63 days to contract in Port St. Lucie. So it's more like a 13-day increase year over year, even though obviously the 20 days that we saw from August to August. And I think that's more because last August was a below average days to contract and this August was a above average days to contract. So it just made the disparity look a little bit more than what it really is. It's really more like 2 weeks, which is still a significant increase. And it's something that I tell people a lot when they ask me kind of, how is the market going in Port St. Lucie? I kind of just say it's just taking a little bit longer, but obviously we just touched on prices. Prices are steadily increasing, but it's just taking a couple extra weeks and you feel it. It definitely is noticeable that it's a little bit longer, but it's nothing alarming or anything bad. It's just the buyer pool is just a little bit smaller. And I do think it always goes back to the interest rates. I do think there are buyers that were maybe looking, but then took a step back when they saw that rates could possibly be dropping very soon. And that is definitely something that could affect the days to contract as well. But all in all, this whole year, it's been a little bit slower. Doesn't mean that anything's negative. It's just taking a little bit longer. And one other area to kind of touch on, since Port St. Lucie has such HOA dense zip codes like St. Lucie West, Tradition, and over by Tesoro and Veranda Gardens off of Becker Road. These areas, you could expect an extra 10 to 18 days to contract. So in August, it was more like 75 to 88 days to contract. And this is to be expected as well, just because you're looking at higher priced homes and in an HOA. So it's a smaller buyer pool. But I just wanted to touch on that because I know a lot of people that watch my videos are looking specifically for HOA type communities. And the last topic we're going to be covering from August is going to be the inventory and closed sales. In August of 2024, we saw 431 homes sold versus 438 homes sold that we saw a year ago in August of 2023. So obviously, year to year are very similar. And if you look at what we're on pace to close at the end of the year versus 2023, we're on pace to have the same amount of closings this year. We had 5,100 single family homes sold last year, and we are on pace currently through 8 months to have another 5,100 homes sold this year. The only difference between last year's 5,100 and this year's 5,100 is there were a lot more homes on the market this year versus last year. We've seen a very large increase in inventory from 2023 to 2024. Currently, the month supply of inventory in Port St. Lucie is 3.8 months. And I'm unable to get the monthly supply of inventory that we had a year ago in 2023. However, I am able to get the month supply of inventory for August 2024 and August 2023 of St. Lucie County. And what we saw is there was a 4.5 month supply of inventory in the whole county. And last year, there was only a 2.5 month supply of inventory. So we saw an 80% increase year over year. And I know that is a drastic change. However, like I've mentioned earlier in this video, the pricing is on a normal growth trajectory, even with all this extra inventory being on the market. So even though, yes, we are seeing 80%, I know that's a very drastic and sometimes even scary number to see. Anytime you hear something changed by 80%, that's a huge gap. But being at a 3.7 month supply of inventory is still technically a seller's market up to 6 months. And it's still enough demand in the market with that inventory of a more healthy market. We're still recovering from the ridiculously low inventory that we saw 2 years ago in COVID, with the prices stabilizing, with the interest rates starting to trend in the right direction. It was only a matter of time for inventory to kind of start increasing to a more normal level. It's just taken so much longer to get the inventory up there, but it's really only affecting the days to contract, which, like I said, it's an extra 2 weeks right now. So seeing the monthly supply of inventory increase to 3.7 months isn't a bad thing at all. It's actually better having a more balanced market. And now buyers are going to have more options to make sure they're getting the right home. And sellers are going to have more options when they buy their next home, and also get a couple extra weeks with the days to contracts increasing to where now they're able to start planning ahead for their next move if you are looking to sell your home and move into the next home in one fell swoop. To wrap things up, the real estate market in Port St. Lucie is showing positive trends with lower interest rates, stable home prices, and moving towards a more balanced inventory. If you have any questions about a specific neighborhood's trends or are looking to buy or sell your home in Port St. Lucie, feel free to contact me. I'm here to help you with all of your real estate needs. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.